Hey, what's up?
El Shaddai. Okay, let's be real, almost no one knows about this game anymore. This nebulous, forgotten, bold, and ever-shifting visual spectacle of an experience is actually really unique and interesting, and I can only really do it justice by showing it rather than explaining it. Please enjoy as I stream this directly into your eyeballs. Okay, here we go.
Oh my god, how did they get it to look like that? Yo, holy shit, oh my god. Yo, this shit is crazy. This is the greatest game I've ever seen.
El Shaddai.
Ascension of the Metatron.
Released in 2011 and was developed by former Clover Studio and Capcom members over at the Tokyo studio of UTV Ignition Games. The company history is a little hard to follow, so that's all you really need to know. Sawaki Takayasu is our man for today, having been the lead character and monster designer for my all-time favorite game, Okami, and going on to be El Shaddai's director and character designer. He likes jeans. A lot. Yes, this is real. El Shaddai is, one of the most spectacularly bizarre games you'll see for a while. The plot is told in vague pieces and it's a lot to take in, but it's loosely based on the Book of Enoch. All you need to know is that our titular character is sent down from heaven to return 7 fallen angels, in order to stop them from altering humanity's natural course of evolution. Enoch is a blonde, jean-wearing pretty boy with armor so nonsensical yet angelic, for lack of a better term, that you can't hate the look, like come on. He's guided every step of the way by the suave yet snarky and deadpan twink Lucifer, Lucifel, who is honestly just here for the ride. He's still an angel at this point and has been for so long that time has no meaning to him anymore, and he went all Advent Children on God's ass. Is that a cell phone? Yeah, don't worry about it, he's just going through a phase. God's cool with it, they're homies.
I guess. Well, I'd say so far so good. Uh-huh. You know I could never say no to you. After all, you are the Lord.
As for the gameplay, it blends 2D side-scrolling with a simple yet fun combat system, even if it does get repetitive, and totally fair 3D platforming sometimes, all while having one of the most fascinating, eye-meltingly gorgeous art styles in a game. The music is also really good. So basically, you're playing through an artsy fever dream with the kind of over-the-top flair that only Japanese games can achieve. Takayasu has also since formed his own studio, Crim, who is going to be releasing a Steam port for El Shaddai. Please play El Shaddai when it releases on Steam! Oh, right. The actual game we're talking about. Oops. Now that you have enough context to locate the fan wiki and the nearest copy of what is a very niche game, we're gonna go even more niche. What's the best way to capitalize on all of that uniqueness? By making a mobile cash grab, of course. El Shaddai Social Battle. Why is this a thing? I don't know, man. El Shaddai did a lot of weird things. I was exaggerating a bit when I said there's nothing on this game. If you look it up, you'll get results, so I'm not even sure if it counts as lost media. Articles talking about it being announced, the game's website going live, screenshots even. Hell, I found this game by complete accident just looking at the Wikipedia page for Takayasu. But it was so short-lived that ultimately there's little info on the actual game. El Shaddai also hasn't been relevant in a long time, so that doesn't help much. There is one article about the game from September 2011, though there's not much to go off of since the game was only teased. At this point, it was simply an El Shaddai mobile game for Android devices and the Xperia Play. Huh. What was it about? What was the gameplay like? No one knew, but a watered-down version of the console game was the best guess. We've got 2 actual screenshots from Pocket Gamer, both 2D side-scrolling through scenes from the original game. Basically, keep your eyes on it until more info is revealed. Hold on, oops, correction actually. So I found out that the 2011 article was referring to a different game entirely. As in, El Shaddai for Android and the Xperia Play was a different game to the actual game I'll talk about in a minute. I figured if anything, it was just a really early version that ended up becoming the actual game over time. It was an unnamed teaser after all. Anyway, I was going through a ton of sites trying to dig up anything I could, and I find some suspicious looking APKs. I mean, this game isn't officially available to download anymore, so I have to do it. It's for the sake of storing niche information in my brain that has no use anywhere else. I figure out how to safely go about it for an hour or two, get BlueStacks booted up, and well, it was worth a try. The game's website then opened on March 16th, 2012, though it wouldn't have anything on it until April 1st. The game's only trailer was uploaded on March 31st as well, but it's entirely in Japanese. Putting the transcript through Google Translate with a bucket full of salt doesn't show anything that wasn't already written about, except for more screenshots, but we'll get to them in a minute. Then the website updated, and any hype that might have been there was entirely killed off. The name El Shaddai Social Battle was officially dropped, and that it was not a 2D side-scroller, but in fact, a social game with turn-based battles.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
No.
In a team of 3 angels, including yourself, you'd climb the tower with characters from other players. Kind of like Fire Emblem Heroes and how you can use your friend's characters in certain game modes, I suppose. As if it being a mobile game wasn't enough of a kicker though, it was only available on the Japanese social platform GREE. As far as I can tell, GREE was and still is mostly used for mobile games, but hadn't made many, if any, attempts to branch out to the West at that point. In fact, all of its operations over here have been closed down for some time. According to the website, Social Battle was released on April 6th, 2012. It was free to download and had microtransactions, presumably to customize the angels, since almost none of these characters were in El Shaddai, and cosmetic microtransactions are how GREE makes its money. El Shaddai did have a few unlockable costumes, but aside from Enoch and Lucifer's outfits, none of these appeared in the original game. And not just as unlockable costumes, these costumes weren't on any enemies or bosses or any characters. The text on the site's header translates to, "Who is the ultimate angel God speaks of?" And with it being a social game, I don't think it's a stretch to say that there would have been rankings. There's also this one Games Radar article that says you can, quote, face off against real-world rivals throughout the journey, and I don't know if that means PvP or something else. It's the only article that says it, so maybe they just had some misinformation or made a false assumption. Okay, let's take a minute to step back to the trailer. The trailer had these screenshots. The title screen with chibi character artwork and a character screen. They look like the character Nana, but with a slightly different outfit. You can also see the character's level, XP, and a couple of other gauges that are entirely your guess as to what they are. Health and stamina? Magic? Sure, whatever works. The rest of the screen, though, I have no earthly idea. The other very tiny screenshots on the website don't reveal much either. Another character screen, this time with a completely original looking character, a shot of dialogue from Lucifer in front of the tower, and a couple more original looking characters with Lucifer dialogue. I thought maybe the mask on the one was from an enemy in the original El Shaddai, but I couldn't find anything that looked like it. Going through the website's whole lifespan on the Wayback Machine doesn't have a whole lot of changes. On June 20th, the game got iPhone support, and that was it. Mere months after being released, El Shaddai's Social Battle was terminated on August 31st, that same year. The game dropped dead as nothing else about it was ever mentioned again. So, where's the game? GREE is still a thing, but the game is no longer on it. It's a similar case to Kingdom Hearts VCast, but a decent amount of footage exists and the models and soundtrack for that game have even been extracted and recreated respectively. But here, there's just no game. Screenshots, but no gameplay. And of course the trailer says that nothing in it is final. The game was also never released outside of Japan, so even with all of the info we just went through, really we have nothing. It's not at all likely that the game will ever be revisited or acknowledged, but it's still a piece of gaming history that I am not going to let live down. El Shaddai did a lot of weird things, but a game that only exists conceptually outside of Japan might be one of the weirdest. Someone's gotta find out what happened to it. Well, That was not as quick as I would have liked it to be. I know, last video I was all, I have time to make new videos since it's summer now, but what do you know, things can change at any time. Very glad to have another one out now though, like, dude, this is the thing I do now and it's fun, it's super fun actually. I can't guarantee when or what the next video will be, but trust me, I have so many script ideas I'm excited for. We'll just have to see what happens. I also, you'll probably notice, I tried to change the presentation on this one a little bit, and I hope it wasn't, like, jarring or anything, because it's really fun to experiment, and frankly, there are a lot of styles and YouTubers out there that I like to take inspiration from. That's about it, though. Alright, I will see you guys later. Peace out!